Chapter 7.2, Adding and Subtracting Polynomials. What I want you to remember when we're working on this is that you want to combine the like terms, okay? From book to book, this will change in terms of how they present the problems to you. We're going to do adding first, by the way. In our book, they tend to show them to you horizontally like this. The quantity of negative x squared plus 4 plus the quantity of 3x minus 9. Now I'm a fan of the vertical methods. This is where we're going to stack them, but before I do that I want to point out that this is a binomial and this is a binomial. But pay attention to what you have. This is negative x squared plus a constant, whereas this is 3x minus a constant. So this has an exponent of 1, where this has an exponent of 2, and they are not like terms. So when I show this, I tend to line them up and leave gaps when I don't see like terms. So for instance, negative x squared plus 4 plus, and then 3x would go here, minus 9. And then I add. If you'd like to fill these in with zeros, go right ahead. But I think that you're all capable of realizing that there's nothing there. So negative x squared plus 0 is negative x squared. 0 plus 3x is positive 3x. And then 4 minus 9, or 4 plus negative 9, is negative 5. And there you go. Negative x squared plus 3x minus 5 is your answer. Okay, we're going to do another one, and then I might give you a practice problem here to do. See, the quantity of negative 3q squared minus 2q plus 7 plus the quantity of 5q squared plus q minus 4. Okay, again, trinomial, 1, 2, 3 terms. Trinomial, 1, 2, 3 terms. Q squared, q, q, and constant, constant. So not only are they trinomials, but they have all like terms. So let's write this vertically. Negative 3q squared minus 2q plus 7 plus 5q squared plus q minus 4. And so we do negative 3q squared plus 5q squared. That's a 2q squared. We have negative 2q plus q, which is going to be negative q. And then 7 plus negative 4 is 3. And so our answer is negative 2q squared minus q plus 3. So now I'd like you to pause this for a moment. Well, excuse me. Let me write the example first, then you can pause it. The quantity x squared minus x minus 2 plus the quantity of 7x squared minus x. So why don't you go ahead and take a moment, pause the video, do that one. And so here we go. I'm going to write this like it is written already, x squared minus x minus 2. And then I'm going to take the binomial here and I'm going to line up the terms that are alike. And so I have x squared plus 7x is 8x squared. I have a negative x plus a negative x, which is a negative 2x. And then I have negative 2 plus 0, and that's negative 2. So there you go. These are my 3 examples for addition. We'll do some more at the very end. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to change the page. And here come the subtraction models. again, nothing's different. We're going to focus on the like terms. So we have the quantity of 2w squared plus 3w minus 5 minus the quantity of w squared minus 8w plus 2. Okay, so what we do here is we still stack it, but there's just one thing that I might do differently here. Okay, I'm going to distribute this negative first. So I'm going to distribute the negative to all three terms. So then what that allows me to do is just use addition still. I'll show you what I mean. So this is 2w squared plus 3w minus 5. By multiplying by this negative, we now get to add the opposites of the other quantity. So now, 2w squared plus a negative w squared is 1w squared, or positive w squared. 3w squared plus 8w squared is 11w squared. And again, negative 5 plus negative 2 is negative 7. And there you go. Just take your time. I think, again, one of the most common mistakes here is usually people rushing through the problem. Make sure that you write everything carefully, especially those signs. So this is 7d squared minus 8d plus 6 minus the quantity 3d squared plus 4. Once again, distribute the negative. And so we have 7d squared minus 8d plus 6 plus, because we're adding the opposite, and this is going to be a negative 3d squared, and then this will be a negative 4. There is no expression with d, so that's going to stay 0. 7d squared plus negative 3d squared is 4d squared. Negative 8d plus nothing is still negative 8d. And then finally, 6 plus negative 4 is 2. All right, so far so good, I hope. Let's do an example where you're going to work on yourself. Let's use this one. The quantity p squared plus p plus 3 minus the quantity negative 4p squared minus p plus 3. All right, go ahead and pause the video, take care of this one, and when you're ready, go ahead and play the video. So what I've done here is I've distributed this negative to all three terms, right, or throughout the expression. So here's my p squared plus p plus 3. And again, we're adding the opposite. All right? We're adding the opposite. We're adding the opposite. P squared plus 4p squared is 5p squared. P plus p is 2p, and then 3 plus negative 3 is 0. So there you go. That's it. So now I have a few problems I'd like you to do right here, just as practice with me. quantity negative k plus 5 minus the quantity of 3k squared minus 6. Okay, we'll call this problem A. Problem B is going to be s squared plus 5st minus t squared plus the quantity s squared minus 2st plus t squared. All right, so again, why don't you go ahead and put this on pause, try to do both examples, and when you're ready, play the video and you'll see how your work compares to mine. So here we go. I have negative k plus 5 plus negative 3k squared plus 6. And so this is going to turn out to be, I should have gave myself a little bit more space with this, sorry. This should be negative 3k squared minus k plus 11. All right, so hopefully you have that. If you didn't, I'm going to presume that it might be something to do with your signs, okay? Did you make this a positive? Did you make this a negative? And then, did you distribute the negative to those? All right, example B. So I have s squared plus 5st minus t squared plus s squared minus 2st plus t squared. Combining like terms, right? Trinomials, s squared, st, t squared, t squared. So s squared plus s squared, that's 2 s's that are squared. Positive 5st plus a negative 2st is a positive 3st. And then negative t squared plus t squared is 0. And so that's what you should end up with. If you initially put 0 here, that's fine, but in the final answer, just simplify it to these two, okay, that binomial. Great. Hope you understood that.